Welcome to Retroford. We're in the workshop again today and we're making up some Euroquick type 600 brake lines. Now these can be really fiddly to put together, but I've got a couple of tips to help us. This car at the moment we're mocking up a new rear brake kit, and I've got a pedal box here because we've got to put fluid into it just to check that everything's going to work. And I haven't plumbed all the brakes in on this car, so we've mocked this up here, but so I can do this, I'm making up some of these hoses. So yeah, sometimes they're a little bit tricky to put together, and there's a few different ways of doing it. Some people put a piece of insulating tape round it and then cut it with a grinder. But after been doing these for a few years, there's a few tricks to doing this. So the most difficult part is this little ferrule here that terminates. So inside you get a little olive, and the olive has got a live on the PTFE part of that. So, and if you cut it with side cutters, then it deforms the PTFE, and you can't make it off. But if you cut it with a grinder, it all splays out, and you can't get that on. So, a little trick is to cut that with some side cutters at 45 degrees, making sure that you've got enough length on the hose that you're making. Cut that at 45 degrees, like that. That allows you to get these on relatively easily. Now, this wants to stab you in the fingers, so if you put them on like this means that you can put that one on. Obviously I've already terminated that end, but normally what I do is put both of these on so they can live in the middle of the hose while you're putting it together. But yeah, we want to put this one on, so grab it like that, push it on. It's relatively easy to get on, a lot easier than if you cut it with a grinder, and then you can cut it with a grinder. So it's just a simple matter of carefully cutting it. Make sure you're at 90 degrees to it. And the very nature of the vibration of the grinder splays all that out for you. So you can see that all that's been splayed out a little bit. Now, this ferrule's got to go in there, and you can see inside it comes to a dead stop. So what I've got is an old screwdriver, and we've sharpened that up to a relative point. And then that goes in there, and that will help you get that on. So it's a matter of making sure that you've got all of the braiding on the outside there. So if you just pop that on there like that, you can then force that on. Now what you want to see from the inside is when you look inside here, you want to be able to see the edge of the PTFE. If you can't see that, then you'll never terminate it properly. So once you've forced that on, like that, wiggle it about, get it on, you can then pull that over. And what holds it together is the fact that this braiding here is being trapped by the edge of that when you do it up. So you can push that over, like that. This is the fitting we're currently putting on, but you've got options of elbows, banjos, straight fittings. So this then that pushes in the end of there, and then it's just a matter of doing those up with a spanner. You've got 11mm and 13mm, and these want to be relatively tight. You can very nearly bottom them out. If you look at the bottom of there, there's a gap there. You can go so that these bottom out, and that will then mean that it's tight. And the beauty of these fittings is that with a lot of old cars, you'll end up with a metric caliper and then an imperial part on the car, or all of the cylinders that you'll buy, like the cylinder that's on there, or cylinders on a bias pedal box tend to be imperial, and you want to get from imperial to a lot of the time to a metric caliper. So the beauty of those is you can make the hose up yourself any length, but you've always got to make sure that that ferrule's on completely, that little ferrule's on, and that you've done those up tight, and it's trapped to the stainless part of the hose at the end of the fitting. So yeah, that hopefully helps you put these together.